Hey everyone, welcome back to the Errant Venture. I'm Steve,
I'm Adam.
and got a good topic. We picked a good one for today. We're going to do more than just talk about the movies. We're going to talk about Star Wars fan films because there's just so many of
Yeah,
them out there, and we want to
yeah,
talk about what we like about these. We want to talk about maybe what we don't like about them, and what is their place in our Star Wars universe because they're not legends, they're not canon, so you can't consider them necessarily part of the expanded universe. They're fan films from just a lot of dedicated people who really love Star Wars. I,
yeah,
for one,
yeah,
huge fan of well-made fan films, and
yeah. And
I
that's the thing. There are fan films that are, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
no worries.
There are fan films that is like literally, oh, here's my camera, let's go film something. But there are others that have a story, a plot. They even have like special effects, and it's just very much like a full-on production that you would think would have been made in a studio.
And that's exactly it. Like the first fan film that I even remember the first one I watched because I never heard of fan films before. This is going back a bunch of years ago. You can see in the background right there, I got Darth Maul. Darth Maul is my favorite Sith. I love the guy.
Yeah.
I as much as I like the original trilogy, I'm a huge fan of the prequels. Uh, so he's my favorite Sith. And years ago, I stumbled across on YouTube. It's called Maul Apprentice, a fan film that is just absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And from there, I got
Did I ever see
hooked
that?
on.
I don't remember if I saw that or not.
So essentially, he's on. It was in the woods. There's two Jedi's and a Padawan, and he has to hunt them down before they escape. And I'm not going to give away the ending to it, but it's just very well made. Like the guy in the fan film looks
Mhm.
like Maul in the movie.
Yeah.
Like such a great job. Like the acting is not the greatest, but it was just so well done. And from there, that's when I learned, like, hey, people are actually making these, and
The
I started
first
watching.
the first one I ever saw, believe it or not, it was it was the parody of Cops. So if
I,
you if
I,
if you if nobody's ever watched it out there, I don't know where you've been. I think like everybody has watched it, but it's basically like the old TV show Cops. Even starts out with the theme song, but it's Imperial soldiers, the stormtroopers, and you can see them responding to a call on Tatooine of domestic violence, and there is uh, Owen and Beru, and they're arguing, and Baru is like screaming at Owen, "You should tell him about his father. How dare you?" And it just like it just escalates, and she's sitting there with a thermal detonator, and they're like, "A, a detonator, take cover!" And it explodes, and it kind of explains, you know, oh, the stormtroopers really did not kill Baru and Owen. It's actually they did it themselves, but it's like freaking hilarious, and it's so well made. And I see that you shared your screen with Darth Maul Apprentice, and I think I actually did see that one.
it's fantastic. I wanted to show you at least the cover art on it. Like, I think if I hover over this for a little bit, it might start showing. Gotta move my mouse around. It might start
It's a
like
hit or
showing
miss.
like
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
some of the background stuff. But yeah, like they did a very good job with this. It
yeah.
feels like a real, episode of something. And it's it for me. This was great, and I remember when I first saw the show that you were talking about. That no, the cops part
Mm-hmm.
that was just great and
Yeah.
very comedic. And there's just so many, and
I
I was.
saw one. I saw one that was an Imperial pilot,
Mhm.
TIE fighter. Which like I and I don't remember what it's called, so I can't even look it up. But because it was years ago. But it looked like the guy was, part of the actual production. I mean, it was just great.
Well, let's not forget about the most popular fan film in out there, and that is Star Wars Scene 38 reimagined.
Oh man, yeah, that is. You know what? I actually so I like to insert deleted scenes into movies, and I in my amateur way, I use iMovie and I just put them all in and I splice them to where I believe they are. I actually put that into my a copy of A New Hope because
And
it was just that's how good it was.
oh, it's
I
fantastic. And
mean,
like when you first recommended that to me a couple years ago, and I went and found it,
hmm
I was like, "This is amazing." And when you think about it, how things have changed and updated, and how fast paced everything is, it fits in with
yeah.
where with how, like, I guess modern movies would be. On top of that, it gives us the battle in A New Hope was so slow, and once again, it was fitting for the times. But
Yeah.
as we're learning more and more, and as we see, even in the prequels and the cartoons, we're seeing older Jedi. Like, look at Yoda bouncing off the walls, going on
Oh,
the attack
yeah.
before retreating back to his
Yeah.
cane. Like,
And I mean,
just
at the time, like, we've said before, at the time, it was great because, we've never seen anything like that except in like samurai movies or something. But I mean, looking back on it now, it's like, oh my God, they're like so slow. This is like really, it's like zoom,
well, that's
zoom, and it was like,
Well, that's part of
wow.
that's part of what led to a bunch of rumors. And one of my network colleagues has mentioned that he's spoken with apparently he's spoken with Filoni and said, "Hey, um, are they going to reboot Star Wars to make it suitable for modern days?" And apparently there's no plans to do that. Thank God.
Thank
Uh,
God. Oh my
no one
God,
wa-
if they did that, that would be like all out mutiny.
yeah, no one wants to see that happen. But continuing on with the topic, for you, what do you like about fan films? What type for Adam? What do good fan films do for you?
The ones that are well made, that look like it is made from a major studio, I'm looking for the same things I look in all my movies and TVs. I'm looking for a good plot, story. I'm looking for um, believable effects. I'm looking for um, good acting. I'm looking for, you know, um, good quality, really. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not really looking for any particular era as far as what kind of fan films I like. But I'm just looking for good. I'm looking for, well made. Give me a good story. You know, um, show me that you put some work into this, and it wasn't just you and your friend going out into the backyard with your, lightsabers that you got from, the Disney store, you know, in your homemade costumes. We can see the fence and, all that. Show me that you put some effort into it, that you're actually an amateur filmmaker, so to speak.
I can jive with that. See, for me, the fan films allow that extra content that one you don't get in the movies, and it's stories and ideas that people like us, like you and me, the
Yeah.
fans want to see. And it's a fan who took their love of something and said, you know what, I want to make a Maul movie. I want to make a short about Maul just to show another story about him. Because until Clone Wars came out and Rebels, we didn't get that much Maul. We got one a few
We
minutes of
got
him in
one. We
episode
got
one.
one movie. A
So
grand total of maybe
5
30
minutes,
minutes.
if even that.
I'd say 30. I'd say between like 20 and 30.
But there's a lot missing from that, and so I want more Maul, and I'm only going to get that before the cartoons and stuff came out. The only way I'm going to get more live action Maul outside of the cameo in Solo, make Solo 2 happen, hashtag, um, is to go and watch some of these fan films, which some
Hmm.
of them are just awful, some of them are fantastic. What's even more cool is I love watching just a starfight. It doesn't have to be a Jedi. I don't need to see people chopping each other down, as much fun as that is. I think I showed you a while ago. I'll throw it on the screen real quick. It's a really well done, about 5.5 minute video right there called X-wing. It's takes place on Coruscant. It's a squad of X-wings going flying around trying to free Coruscant from the Empire.
Okay, yeah, I think I
And
remember that.
no, I'll throw it out there. A Noble Engine did a fantastic job doing this, and even right here, I got another. Oh no, I have seen this one, the one that's right below it, the Wingman.
Wingman.
Yeah, I have seen that. That one's pretty cool too. So there's a lot of if you're into
Yeah, I don't think I've
starfighting,
seen that.
if you're into starfighting, that's also live action.
Yeah,
There's a lot of it, and that one's almost an hour long. So
yeah,
you're
50
getting to
minutes.
that point of no real time. It's not just like no where X-wing is great. It's only 5 minutes long. You can't really. There's no real character development. But
Hmm.
when you watch something like Wingman, there's a lot of character development. There's multiple characters, and you can damn well say it's just like watching a double length episode of something.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
I got
well, I was gonna say, and I know, we are not the only ones to actually believe this. I was at Brickfest like last month, I believe, and I
that's
actually
Legos.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which has gotten worse as the years went on. It's like there's one vendor and it's Brickfest's own vendor. I'm like, that's why that's stupid.
There's no
But anyways,
competition to lower prices.
oh yeah, well yeah, I mean they're charging like regular retail. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to do that. But anyways, I actually had a chance to speak to some of the guys and gals from the 501st. And 501st, if anybody is unaware, they're like the biggest fan group around. They're all over Facebook. You'll see them at parades. And I don't mean like, oh, here's a little parade in Atlantic City. No, I mean like Thanksgiving Day parade, Christmas parade, big parades, and they're all over the place.
They
They
have like
make,
yeah, they're like a fraternity. They have
yeah,
houses all over the place. It's not just a one place thing. They're
no,
everywhere.
they're all over the country, and I think even the world. And they make their own props. It's amazing. But I had a chance to talk to them about the fan films, and the general consensus from them was the same thing as what we're saying, is that the fan films are great and they fill in the blanks and they give us other stories we would not normally see. And it really does help create this entire world. So,
It's like you were saying, it makes that entire world. It allows there to be just the more stories, more content, and
mhm,
not only that, you get some pretty big people doing this. Star Wars Theory. I'm not sure if Vader 2 came out, but he put out Vader 1, and that was fantastic.
yeah,
And he puts real production and love. If there's a group that I trust to do good storytelling and to put the time and value into it, it's Star Wars Theory.
yeah.
I think the guy's fantastic at what he does.
So I
But
know, speaking of really good quality, I know this is, probably, taboo. I'll probably get stoned for this, but not Star Wars. However, in the world of Star Trek, because I am a Trekkie, um, the the most famous one that's out there was actually made by Walter Koenig, and it was oh my God, why am I blanking on this? I don't know. I'm having a mind fart, but it actually had, besides Walter Koenig, it had John Harriman, it had Martok, or at least J.G. Heltzler, Nichelle Nichols was in it, Sirach Lofton was in it. I mean, and it was like a big budget, but it was a fan film. So I mean, it's not just us regular people who are making these fan films as well. It's celebrities who are making it, and they're making it, and it's so well done. But I do have a question though.
Sure.
So we've agreed that fan films are great and everything. And actually, I got two questions. And as long as they're well made, and we can see that people have put their love and attention in it, it's all good. Do you think that any of these fan films should be made canon?
So I do believe that if there are people watching these films from LucasArts and Disney, if there's something that they like, they will borrow parts from it. I think that is part of why everyone's so worried about getting copyright things or something from Disney is because there's so much of these out there.
Yeah.
But if there's something that is too close to what Disney wants that idea. They want that to be a Disney thought. Look at Filoni. He's been they've been taking so many ideas from the extended universe from Legends and
Hmm.
bringing them back in. And I'm sure he watches at least some of these. Like he knows all the Star Wars content that's out there. I'm sure in between things he was sitting on the toilet and goes, let's see what's on YouTube. We've
Yeah.
all done it. I'm just as guilty. It's probably where I watch most of these. But uh, but at the same time, there's some great ideas that go into this.
Yeah.
I was watching one earlier today that had some X-wings and Vader flying around in his advanced, and there was a part where I'm like, no, this would be really cool to see, and then
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted to see happened in there, and I was like, yes, and I can picture them doing something similar to that, and they kind of already have. And without spoiling, because I'm not going to tell you which one I watched, it was there was an X-wing that was about to jump to hyperspeed,
Hmm.
and as they had all the coordinates in, you see the hyperdrive, revving up, and then all of a sudden Vader blows it up, and it blows up after his shots hit just as it goes. So you see kind of like a
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so you kind of get like a little bit of that part from episode 8, where where the ship went to light speed and cut through the First Order.
Right.
You kind of got like a little bit of something like that, and then a massive explosion. And I was like, yes, that was awesome to watch. I was so
Yeah.
excited about it. So
Yeah.
do I think that it's gonna be good? These are such a value. And as I say these, and I point over here, so that's where my computer is. These are so valuable to Disney if they choose to use them as a resource. Because if these suck, if people aren't watching these, then they're not going to be good. But when you
Hmm.
find the ones that have several 100,000, several million views, and lots of likes and shares and stuff, then you suddenly have a place to get resources, a place to get ideas,
Yeah.
and and they do need to pay attention to that because you can have as many creative minds out there. There's always going to be something that another person is going to think of that you have not.
Yeah. I do kind of agree with that. I would like Disney to make some of the better made ones canon, full on canon. I mean, I would like to see them take that and release it, even if it's on like DVD or on Disney Plus or something. I would like to see that happen. because like we've been saying, some of these are so great, they deserve to be canon. Not just taking ideas, but just putting it as canon.
So the issue with it is you have some of these, like even the mall one. The mall one, the production value is great. It's all there. There is some horrible acting in there. Like some of the people are good, so other ones just terrible.
Yeah,
And Disney would, if Disney wanted to do something like that, they would have to recreate it. Give credit to the to the creators, but they would have to recreate it with in a more professional way, so that way it matches. Like I don't want to go from watching the content, the
honestly,
quality they're putting out, that Disney's putting out, to all
yeah,
of a sudden watching at home quality, but also and I'll let you go in a second.
yeah,
Um, but also these are stories that they cannot affect the overall story arc of Star Wars. These would
yeah,
have to be like, oh hey, well what did Maul do? In between his training and before he met Qui Gon. Maybe this happens 5 years before, and it's just a side story. It's like doing a side quest in a video game. It's not going to help you further your character in terms of completing the game, but you might get a couple things out of it, and you're just having
yeah,
fun on the side.
yeah, and that's true. I do agree with that point right there. But I mean, I honestly, listen, Disney has the money to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Disney has the money, and I'll tell you something else. You had mentioned that they should be paying attention to these fan films, and that's exactly right, because this is what we want to see. The fan films, the films that these fans are making, is what we want as fans. This is what we want to see. So yeah, they need to be paying attention and taking ideas from it, giving credit where it's due. Um, you know, Not like a certain comic book dealer uh, who is very famous yet, you know, really
So,
ripped
so,
somebody off uh, as far as buying comics. But yeah, definitely giving credit where credit is due, but taking those ideas.
so what was your second question?
So the other question is, uh, what particular era would you want to see fan films from, or take place, or however you want to say it?
So, so when I think of Star Wars, I think of which era had the most characters that I got invested in. And when I think of the original trilogy, I think, okay, there's Obi. You have Obi Wan. You have who's only really around for. I know he shows up in the other ones, but for all intents and purposes, he's only in one.
Yeah.
Uh, you have Luke. You have all of them, and that's great. I like the Clone Wars era. I like the Republic era because there's so many more characters to get invested in. And if you read the books, whether they're the Legends books or now canon, like you find out how much of a badass Bail Organa is, and
Hmm.
you're only gonna find that out by reading these, how he saves Obi Wan's life. So seeing things that take place more from the Clone Wars era, the Republic era, the prequels, there's more characters there that people like than
Yeah.
just what you see in the original trilogy, which means you have so much to choose from. uh, People, I think, care more about clones than they do stormtroopers, and that's huge. So I would say I really enjoy seeing more Clone Wars era content from fans.
Mm. Mm.
What about you?
Yeah. I I I I would like to see more of the Clone Wars um, stuff. There are. I mean, you said it. I mean, there are more stories to be told than what we have seen. There are
Yes.
a lot more characters. Personally, I mean, I really love and everything. I really love the Empire era. Um,
Well,
and by
that's the
that
original. That's the classic. That's code classic before they changed the recipe. Back.
actually I mean the time frame between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I'd
They're
like to see more of that.
and they are doing that. The Bad Batch was the first step in that
Yeah.
direction. Then you had Rogue One taking it from the other side. There's
Hmm.
talks of there being another clone series coming up, which will hopefully lead us to the Clone Rebellion we really want. So there
Yeah.
is going to be more content between those times, between A and B. It's how long is it going to go for? How long is it going to take to make? And that's the big thing is with Disney having there's always more and more content coming out that it's finding the time to come up with something, the release schedule for it. How long are we going to wait for it? And at what
Yep.
point do we start experiencing Star Wars overload again?
Yeah.
So,
That is exactly right there.
like think of it in a 2 month span. You finished the Bad Batch.
Yep.
You got Tales of the Sith,
Yep.
and now you have Acolyte starting in like a week or so.
Yep.
So that's a lot, and then you have Skeleton Crew coming out. Eventually,
Hmm.
you have Andor season 2 is going to be there. We
Yep.
heard
We're gonna have Ahsoka season 2.
the Grogu
Um,
movie.
the
So
Grogu
there's a
movie.
lot coming up. At
Yeah.
what and at what point is it too much? And that's where you're getting. That's kind of like where these fan films come in for me. They're not super long. Some of them are might hit the hour mark, but usually they're under 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They tell a quick Star Wars story, which is great, and then you're done. I think that's a great way to go about doing it.
Yep.
And I wish I had the talent, the time, and the expenses, especially the equipment, to do half of that stuff
Yeah.
because I have ideas up here that I think would be great. I
Hmm.
think would be great. I just don't have any of the means to make it happen.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. For me, I would love to make some of these, films, but for me, the biggest thing is I don't have the talent to, do a lot of the special effects and all of that. Um, I don't know the first thing about film, like camera angles or anything like that. I can get people together, I can give them direction, and I can turn them into, a great story, but that's about it. I would need somebody else to do a lot of the other stuff.
So, don't you like about fan films? What type of fan films do you not enjoy? Do not like? Kind of wish were not made.
Um, I actually already mentioned that
The-
earlier. The ones that look like I just picked up my phone and went, "Okay, go ahead." Byum, 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 Um, yeah, just the ones that
that,
it looks
that's good.
like
That
it it
little clip,
it
that little clip of you going, "Pew, pew," that is going on our social media. By the
hey,
way,
that's great. That's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but yeah, those types, the ones that look like, here I am. Oh, look, we got, your Christmas present. You're playing with your friend, and your mom's sitting there with a video camera. Those type of ones, really, really cheap. Um, that look like they are just, yeah.
so I got two types that I really don't like. I see a lot where, and I give kudos to these people in the first category a lot because I take it as they're just trying to learn something new, and these are probably their first attempts. And it's when they make a digital film, oh, here's like the arrival of Star Destroyers, or here's Star Destroyers versus X Wings, and it's just like the
Mm,
skeleton of animation. And it's great, if they're just starting off, it's great because it's showing progress. Hopefully, they continue to learn more, get better. There is I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is a guy who, over the last couple of years, has been using a Clone Wars graphics and getting much better and better to make
okay.
different types of new clone Republic stories. But the ones that I really hate are the ones where people are like, "Oh, teaser trailer. Oh, we're gonna make this," and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
and it's just content or videos or clips taken from the movies and TV shows, and they're trying to pass it off as it's something for the next, upcoming thing. And some of them are very well done, but they're very well done because they're literally taking the content that LucasArts has created and just reusing it beforehand. You still have to have a
Hmm.
mind for that, but so many people, like, there's the one running around like Vader, a Star Wars story, and so many people think it's going to be real and that it's happening. And even Star Wars has come out and said like that's not
It's
happening.
not.
Like
Yeah.
if you don't see it on the Star Wars website, don't believe it.
Right.
But there are people out there who believe it, and when they see and they watch this trailer, quote unquote, it's a lot of clips from the Star Wars movies, from Obi-Wan, Rogue
Yeah.
One, and once again, it's well put together. I just don't like videos or movies or fan films where all they are really doing is taking from other official content.
Yeah. As far as your first type that you don't like, I kind of put them in the same category as, you know, the super amateur mom with the camera, filming you and a friend, opening presents. I kind of put them in the same category. Definitely the second point with the trailers. Um, I would have to, yeah. I mean, they're just super annoying because it's like, wait, what? Oh, really? Yeah. And they're all over the place, not just with Star Wars, but with so many other genres, it's just all over with that, and I can't stand that either. I have to agree,
Yeah,
definitely.
like just doing a Star Wars teaser trailer search on YouTube,
Hmm.
and you know, granted, you do get a bunch of original, real ones in the beginning, but then suddenly it changes and you're seeing a lot of things from cinematic from video games made into a trailer,
Yeah.
uh, and that stuff's not even canon anymore. Even does this tell me how many actually came up in the search? It does not, but there's just
Really, it
so
should tell you on the top
well.
how
I'm on
many.
YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
different.
So like if I'm gonna go to let's see Star Wars teaser trailer. Let's click on videos. Same thing. I'm not getting like a number, but there's right.
Mm,
There's probably a lot of pages of this.
yeah.
At least when you do a Yahoo search, if anyone still does that. Uh,
I do sometimes,
But no,
but
for me, the overall with fan films, they serve a great purpose of just providing more stories in the Star Wars universe. They give
hmm,
us more content with the characters that we know that we love, or just different aspects of the movie. I don't need to know the names of the pilots in X-wing, but I enjoy watching them fight the Empire, and
yeah,
that's great for me. It's a great way to kill 10, 15 minutes, and I do applaud anyone who does it, even if they're doing the at home with the camera and mom's filming it, because it's those are hopefully the future people who are going to get into LucasArts and make movies and tell
right.
stories. It's you got to get your start from somewhere. I
Yeah,
just
that's true.
some
I mean, it's true, and it's true. You do got to get your stuff from somewhere, but
I just wish some of these things where you can really tell it's like a college project of how to make digital animation.
mm,
Keep that to yourself. I don't want to see that.
yeah,
Like maybe that's your start and that's fine, but
yeah,
some of this stuff is so raw, is so no TLC. It just should not be out there,
yeah,
mixed and mingled among other stuff. And usually, if you even look at the comments on there, people are always like, great work, this will look good, do X, Y, Z, do more, get better experience. And because people hopefully would not put bad comments on there, but you
no, you
know,
never know. It is the internet, and people like to hide behind that,
this is true,
but
but I guess I would just like to see those. Don't call, and you could put them up there. Just don't call it a fan film. It's not a
yeah.
fan film. It's a school project that you posted online.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I have to agree with you on that.
So
So that was a good that was good. It was we got a lot of stuff out there. And hope everybody comments. I like to hear, what your viewpoint is on the fan films, based on everything that we're talking about. What kind of fan films you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see, what era you would like to see some of these from, if they should be canon or not. And as always, please like and subscribe. You can catch us on.
Oh, you're pointing to me. Catch us on
Yes.
Facebook or on YouTube. We do have an Instagram. We got some big changes coming up, some new material coming out. So just stay tuned and come for the ride with us. We're excited to be here. We're going to be with summer coming. We're going to be doing this a little bit more often as we can, and we're just once again really. What was that?
Hopefully.
Oh, I thought that was you giving me the middle finger. Uh, so we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun summer. Like Adam said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think. What's your favorite fan film? What type of what eras do you like? So I'm Steve.
I'm Adam.
May the force be with you.